Welcome back again to the channel, everybody, on this, again, hot and humid Monday here in Switzerland. Overcast skies, no sun, but man, is it humid. I'm sweating like two dogs in a blanket. Anyway, I want to talk to you because I did a favor for a friend of mine yesterday, and the preparation for that was a bit of a pain in the butt. But a friend of mine, who was in an accident. I told you about him and his woman, his wife, and or his partner, because they're not really married, but they've been together for 25 years. So they matter of fact, 25 years last Wednesday, and he was in the hospital and couldn't even enjoy their anniversary together this year. But anyway, they were asked me if I could transport some cheese that came from his alpine meadows last year. They keep cows during the summer up in the Alps. He rents land from a commune up in the Valais. It's called, up in the high Alps up there. I've been up there. It's beautiful. Getting there is tricky, but once you're there, it's just so beautiful. And anyway, they have a couple that stays up there for them. Because he lives down here, and that's a good hour and a half drive, 2-hour drive actually to get there, and a bit of a hike also. It's about an hour hike also once you've gotten there. But anyway, they made a raclette cheese. Raclette cheese is a cheese that it's a big wheel of cheese, which was all of the Swiss cheeses are big wheels of cheese, and these weigh about between 6.5 to 7.5 kilos each. And what you do is you cut it in half, or you cut a piece off of it, and you put it over a hot fire or flame, and you rake off the melted cheese onto your plate, onto your potatoes, and you eat it like that. It's very good. I tell you right now, people ask me here in Switzerland, how you're a typical American, you're so big. I said, well, I wasn't big when I got here. I've gained 30 kilos probably since I've been here. Well over, I was much lighter weight when I got here. But the food is just so awesome here, and it's just so fatty and rich, but it's really good. Anyway, so they asked me if I could transport some cheese since his accident, to France for them. And so I traveled yesterday to France, delivered 7 wheels of cheese that range between it's 7 times 7 in reference to 49 kilos of cheese. Actually, I transported over there in my truck, and had to go through the douane or the customs and this kind of stuff. But anyway, the preparation for that, I had to go take a COVID test or get the COVID shot. So I tried to get the COVID shot, and they've been announcing for weeks and months that you can go into pharmacies or anywhere and get your shot, the hospital, get your shot. Well, now they suddenly, like the day I went to go do this, they stopped it the day before. And so now you have to get an appointment. It takes several weeks just to get your COVID shot. And I don't really want to get a COVID shot, but I want to do what's right, okay? So I at least want to get the test. So I spent the entire day trying to get the test, and I didn't need this. I got a test kit. But the problem with that is that it doesn't give you it doesn't give you a certificate. You just go and you do a little swab around the nose, at the bottom of the nose, and you put it in. It's like a pregnancy test. Well, I got that, and those they say are for free, but paid for by the government. But in reality, it's your taxpayers that pay for the pharmacy. Anyway, we don't want to get into that conversation because some of you might not like my opinion about that. But anyway, or some of you may. But I finally found a place after going. I went to so many pharmacies. We went to the hospital, couldn't get anything done. So I found a clinic that a lady who worked in a pharmacy, wasn't a pharmacist, who pointed out to me. So I went there, and I waited in line for 2 hours in the sun. There were people with me. Some of them had COVID symptoms, actually, weren't feeling very well. And finally, got to where we were just about to get inside the building, and there was a young nurse that was there. I asked her 3 times about, hey, listen, this is what I need. And she kept saying, oh, you're good. And then people were going ahead of us because they had appointments, and this was supposed to be a place where there were no appointments. Anyway, I get there, and finally I said, listen, I need to get a certificate. She goes, oh, that's the other line. Look at the other line. There was nobody there. I went straight upstairs, and there were maybe 10 people ahead of me. I could have already gone in and gotten out. But this one I hear, there's so much confusion around these people, around these what's going on, because they had a sign said, if you're traveling abroad outside of Switzerland, then you need to pay 156 francs for your COVID test or certificate. I was like, what? I was really like not going for that. But anyway, it took a little bit of coming and going, and finally they switched. I asked the nurse that was there, and she's like, "Yeah, this is the way it is." And then she left off her shift before when I went back up. It was my turn, and the new nurse that took over knew exactly what I was looking for. It was a free COVID test. They send you a certificate by email, which I got, which says I was negative, and I could present that at the border actually. So I did all that, and then yesterday when I got to the border, no one asked me anything about that. The only thing they were more interested in is what I had in my vehicle, which I presented to them, and what they call dédouanier. I went through the customs and paid the tax on it and traveled across with the proper paperwork across into France about 3 kilometers. Gave it to the person that was taking the merchandise and going to do the rest of the delivery over there, and also the family who had made the cheese originally. And then I came back and no problem. But it was just such a pain in the butt. I mean, the pain in the butt starting from, if anybody trusts in the government to do anything for them, forget about it. The government is so chaotic, and everything changes every day. The rules change every day. The finish line changes every day, and so you got to really be ready to deal with all of that. So I kept I didn't let it bother me or anything like that. I did what I had to do. I got the test, even though how frustrating it was. And I went on and did what I had to do. But that was my day yesterday and Friday and yesterday. So my weekend was pretty hectic, pretty chaotic. But in the end, here I am this next day, Monday, and all is safe, all is good, and life goes on. But anyway, I just wanted to pass it on to you and see, get your opinion on all that. What have you gone through? What have you had to deal with in reference to the COVID when it comes to? I was sick. Before it was announced in Switzerland, I had gotten sick, and I was sick for 3 weeks from COVID. And this was last year before, like March or February. This was like the end of January. I had gotten really, really ill. I couldn't breathe. Matter of fact, 2 nights in a row. I survived it, as you see, but I remember that first night I couldn't breathe, and I prayed. I said, "Please help me. Help me. If you're trying to take me, okay, take me. I understand." Because I was actually ready to go. I was really just knowing that I knew that this was going to be it. I just could not breathe at all. I was by myself, and I had contacted the doctor, and he said, apparently they had known something that they weren't telling people. So he told me, "Stay home. They don't want you coming in and then risking giving everybody else COVID." So I was told to stay home. I never got a COVID test after that. I never got any shots or anything like that. I still haven't. I had a test and I'm completely negative. But I remember that night thinking that I actually prepared messages for my kids and telling them that, hey, how I felt about them, I loved them, and that, sorry I'm going out this way, but this is the way it happens. This is the way it's ending. And I prepared all those messages so when they found my phone, they'd have all that, to see. And I was so weak. I remember being so weak, but I fell asleep that night or passed out from just being fatigued. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Woke up the next morning, still feeling really bad, still having a problem breathing. And then the following night, I was just lucky. I felt like I was lucky to waken the third day. But actually, as funny as that, I didn't know what it was, what I had gotten. I thought I had like the flu, and it was just a 24-hour, 48-hour flu. So that Tuesday morning, I went to work as usual, and of course I had a really bad cough. And then it was only weeks later, a month later, before we knew anything more about COVID and what was going on and the symptoms of COVID, because we had known nothing before then, So, but anyway, that's my little story. I survived it. Do I feel like I need to take this test? Not really. I don't want to take this test. I feel like my body's maybe like the flu it normally gets. It sort of made it. And you're constantly hearing stories about I haven't heard anybody who's had the COVID get it again. I've not heard of anybody. And I know there's all these little urban myths and this kind of stuff going around. You don't know what's truth and what's not. And you really I just feel like you can't trust what's coming out of the government's mouth because, at the end of the day, you got to ask your question. This is where I didn't want to get into, but I will. Who's profiting from all this? And that's the big question. Who's really profiting from all this? And when your tax money is paying for free all the COVID tests and the vaccinations, but who are they paying with that money? That company's not doing it for free. So, and there you go. I'll leave it like that. But anyway, I hope that you all are doing well and being safe, and I hope to hear from you again. Please leave comments. I hope to hear some comments from this right here. Your opinions. Thumbs up, thumbs down, hopefully thumbs up. I really appreciate that, and like and subscribe and get this around. But anyway, listen, I hope you all are having a pleasant day, surviving the humidity here in Switzerland, and I hope to hear from you very soon. Take care of yourselves. Take care. Bye.